When you're ready.
Whoa! Recently, a viewer sent us some Hammerhead slugs made in the USA for us to test out. Now, these are quite similar to slugs we've tested before, made in Russia and Italy. The thing that makes them similar is they all have attached wads, and you usually don't see that with American slugs. The entire wad stays attached and acts like a stabilizer tail so the slug flies straight through the air. In the package, the Hammerhead slugs included this load data chart. I opted to use long shot powder and used the exact prescribed amount. I also did some test loads using steel powder, and the powder would not even ignite. Well, let's head out to the test range and see how these perform using long shot.
Welcome back, Tailflater folks. Jeff, Officer Greg out here with you today. We are reintroducing the Hammerhead slug sent to us by Edward McGarr in New York. He got these slugs from Slugs R Us. You might have seen the video where we put in a little clip there of Brianna shooting these things, and they plopped out the barrel at about 7 feet per second. So we found out that the powder load was off.
It was a recommended powder load on the package, and it has a bunch of different powders and powder loads. It's really useful, and I decided to go with a powder called Steel, which is new to me. I usually use long shot, and for whatever, steel's made for a real heavy loads up to like 2.5 ounces.
Is it blue steel? Because it's not ready yet.
But it just did not, the powder never ignited for whatever reason.
Yeah, that was a crazy
Maybe
video.
I didn't have the right primer or something weird, you know, I don't know.
You could see those things almost plop out the barrel. So Jeff has reloaded these Hammerheads today with a different powder. They are advertised to fly at about 1,500 feet per second, so we're going to give that a try. It's a 538 grain projectile.
Yeah, lead
Projectile. So nice heavy little piece in there. We're going to give these a try against some different targets out here for you like we always do, and see if the version 2.0 isn't a little bit better.
Yeah, he's wearing level 3A Kevlar underneath that. Let's see what these slugs will do.
And level 2A swim goggles too.
That's right. Where you're aiming at the blue thing?
The blue dot in sports.
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. So the round hit.
Look at that hole. Wait, flip it up so people can see the hole.
You always want to see the hole.
Yeah.
Round hit low and right. And we're not that far away, so.
No, we're 12 yards maybe.
Pretty sure that was the round. But yeah, big old hole in all.
Is it you or the slug?
You know it's me, right? It's only Dan and Brianna can shoot. Doug's got more t-shirts on here than Michael Stipe, and it tore through all of them with a big giant hole that I could put my fist through. And in his vest here, I felt something hot. And get that shiny thing there.
There you go. Oh, okay.
Boop.
Finally, man,
Finally.
I was like ready to fast forward through this video.
Took me so long it's cooled off. You can kind of see the base of it there.
Yeah.
So soft, must be soft lead then, because
I guess
that thing really squished up against that vest.
Mm-hmm.
But still a pretty heavy chunk.
Okay, in test number 1, we could see that the projectile is flying along, but sideways. That caused it to deviate off course, and it was not very accurate. But even when 1.25 ounces of lead flying at 1,500 feet per second is a little inaccurate, it still does a lot of damage. Let's move on to test number 2.
All right, so you might have seen over on Hitchcock 45's channel, this is the time of year when he always posts a video or several videos of shooting pumpkins. Never gets old, does it? Or does it? One thing he does not do, however, is fill his pumpkins with fluid. We filled up this pumpkin with
that beautiful cavity there, you know,
right, it's a beautiful,
hydrostatic shock.
Beautiful cavity there. Red water inside. So
yeah,
we're going to cap this guy. If I can figure out this puzzle for idiots here. There we go. And it always makes for a much more dramatic shot, filled with water. So let's give it a try.
Would like to mention that for your own safety, there are no
flashlights in this video.
How are you going to even see the target, Jeff?
I know.
Hydrostatic pumpkin. That's how you smoke a pumpkin. Am I doing that right?
Hydrostatic pumpkin.
Yeah. I'm ready. Where are you aiming? Wait.
I'm going to put the red dot right on his nose.
Okay. There. We are not showing the red dot for your own safety, both online and off.
That's right. I'm going to put the simulated CGI red dot on his nose.
On the mass accelerator. It's getting crazy again, folks. Okay, I'm ready.
When you're ready.
Whoa!
Goodness.
Now even Paul Harrell will agree that filling pumpkins with fluid is the way to shoot pumpkins. Alright, here comes the Hammerhead slug. It doesn't know what direction to fly. It's amazing that it was even accurate at all. Directly on the nose where Greg was aiming. And you always get your most impressive damage when you hit the pumpkin filled with water right in the center. But boy, I thought in shot number 1 it couldn't get more unstable than that, but this thing was just tumbling all over the place. That was pretty bad. But as we often say, the high-speed camera does not lie. And again, I have to mention, we used their exact load data. Okay, bag o' dirt! Smoothbore.
I'm aiming for the O.
Okay, that works. I'm ready.
Ooh.
These are not looking very good. I hate to say that.
So you probably saw, slug ended up down here. The wad came separated from it and tore through way up here and tore off our high-tech zipper.
Oh no.
I know, we can't even give this to your wife for Christmas now.
I know.
Well, you can actually if you have a little duct tape. Borrow some off of Danny's hat. But yeah.
Did it go through?
Well, let's take a look down here.
Is there a hole out the back?
There's not a hole out there.
Okay, good. The bag of dirt did its job.
Somewhere in here we should have a slug. And patrons, don't worry, we're going to actually bag this back up and send it to you.
World famous California dirt.
Pouring out your gift.
Okay, now.
I don't know. There we go.
You found it? Or is that a rock?
No, that's it, because it's hot.
Oh, okay.
If that's a rock, it's a hot rock. And we're near a volcano.
You can see it probably hit sideways. It's, you know, this is the side of it.
Yeah, that looks like what, the rear of it and the nose of it kind of squished around.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I mean, I can't blame my powder loads because it's their powder loads.
Yeah, blame the shooter.
You can't blame the shooter for the slug falling apart.
No, you can. Danny could have made those go straight.
Well, yeah, he has that psychic, you know, that.
Right, aimbot.
Yeah.
Brianna could have done it looking backwards.
Yeah.
Let's try it through a rifled barrel on the Remington and see if that has any effect on this thing.
Yeah, I'm not pleased so far.
Well, never say never. Shot number 1 was bad, shot number 2 was even worse, and shot number 3 was even worse than shot number 2. The projectile came out of the sabot, out of the plastic wad, and you don't want that to happen. Full rifling. Maybe rifling will help them.
Maybe so.
I don't think I saw anywhere on the packages if it's made for full rifling, smooth bore. Once again, in the real time, it looked like a very impressive shot, but the high-speed camera shows us that the wad is completely mangled up and just the lead projectile was flying through the air. It's amazing that it hit so accurately. Okay, lead plate, full rifling. I'm ready. Black dot.
Black dot. When you're ready.
I'm ready. This is about the amount of damage we normally see with a similar weighted lead projectile going at that velocity. But once again, we have complete failure of the wad system. It is unrecognizable. It's just strips of plastic flying through the air at this point. I had really high expectations for these projectiles too.
So we've seen these things semi-accurate at 10 yards, but they are separating from their wad and they're waggling back and forth. I'm sure you guys have seen by now. So we're going to give them a try out at 50 yards against these boar, and I don't know, see if we can even hit the damn thing from back here. We used a laser rangefinder though, so it's an actual true 50 yards. Let's see what they do out there.
Good luck.
Maybe distance is the key, and they'll straighten themselves
Yeah,
out.
they'll reassemble. You know, the wad won't be all shredded up.
It's like an RPG of slug rounds. It's just geared for a certain.
We try to be optimistic, but if they're off by 3 inches at 10 yards, it's going to be.
There's a good chance.
There's math involved here, you know. It's going to be off by a foot or something at 50 yards.
Our bore down range is about that wide, so if we're going to be ecstatic if we can even hit his body from here.
Or any part of the cardboard.
Shot number 1, ready.
Go.
Okay, let's review the high-speed footage. Shot number 1 through the rifled barrel. Again, we see the slug traveling along without the stabilizing wad, and without that, you're not going to get consistently accurate shots. Instead of a 2-inch group, you might get a 12-inch group. In shot number 2 through the rifled barrel, again, failure of the plastic wad. And just for the record, again, we're using their powder loads, which I assume they tested, but they just are not working.
You know, I thought the failures to the smoothbore were bad, but let's go back to the smoothbore.
Is it possible that rifling is grabbing, ripping, and tearing that?
I don't know. What is that? What is that wad made out of? Like old milk cartons or something? I've never seen a wad melt like that.
Yeah, melt, stretch, and fall apart halfway down range.
Yeah.
Exactly 25 yards. So we're going to try it now through smoothbore again with a red dot. I'm going to place the red dot on the bore's face, and let's see if we can't achieve any better accuracy with these.
Yeah.
All right, here we go on the face.
Since we were having consistently poor results with the rifle barrel, we decided to go back to the cylinder bore, smooth bore in other words, and once again we had failure of the plastic wad. Now it should be noted we were shooting on a cool day. It was about 70 degrees outside, so we can't say we were having overpressure issues due to high temperatures.
Okay, these may be the worst slug we ever tested, and we've tested some bad ones.
And we've tested homemade stuff made by a dude who whittled them with a rusty nail in his garage. So
that did a lot better.
That is what the wad looks like after flying down a rifled bore. Just torn and melted straight to H. This one's out of a smooth bore, so you can tell it holds it together a little better, but that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Look at all that deformation, strain, stretching and melting.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's supposed to look like a little spring.
I don't know what kind of plastic they're using, but it's some kind of recycled milk cartons or something.
Same kind of plastic used in balloons, I think. So round number 1 hit right here between his eyes. Each one of these,
Where were you aiming? Just right in the center. Okay.
Right in the center of his face, and the red dot at that distance is about as big as a salad plate. This first one hit right between his eyes. The second one hit over here left of his head, and the third one hit up here. And you can tell this one hit sideways because of its kind of a keyhole shape, little rectangular shape. These both appeared to, especially this guy right here, they definitely cut through nose first.
But that was just by chance because they were still tumbling through the air.
Yeah.
Now, if you had bought some of these things and you didn't have a high-speed camera and you shot a group like that, you would never guess that they were falling apart, right?
I would think that I was inaccurate, first of all, and I would think that the slugs are probably not the best because I know my guns. So maybe it's the shooter, and maybe it's, I would think maybe it's the shooter, maybe it's the actual ammunition. But
you know, you got this tail on there, it's supposed to stabilize it, like the Gualandi or the Azot from Russia.
You don't need to use language like that on the show, Jeff. This is a family show.
Tried and true Italian and Russian slugs using that same principle got it right, you know. Somehow they get it right, you know, and they're accurate.
And maybe this is the key. The Italians and the Russians rely on their slugs because they can't have a lot of rifles for hunting, so it's not as common for them to be able to reach in the gun case and grab a 30-06 and go out bear hunting. They make slugs because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the only gun they have is a 12 gauge.
We make slugs because they're fun and they're a nice supplemental to our rifles. But
isn't it great to have options though?
It is.
We were talking about that earlier. You live in a country where you're not limited to one gun, or you know, you have to own like a 1911. You can own a FK Bruno or a Glock or a.
All the people that clowned on the FK Bruno, it's like it's being introduced to the U.S. market. Glock in 1986 was introduced to the U.S. market. We have to try new things to see what works and what doesn't. So this, I would say, doesn't.
Pretty bad. On a
scale of on a scale of 1 to 1, giving them about a half. You can.
God, I felt bad for Edward who sent him, you know, but.
Well, you can tell right there that at 50 yards, and that's a lasered 50 yards. That you couldn't rely on even hitting a wild boar or the side of a deer at that distance. You wouldn't want to use these for hunting.
I don't know what you'd want to use them for anything, you know? I mean, 10-yard pumpkin shot. They're great.
A funny test on YouTube, they would work out good.
Yeah.
If you wanted to try and miss something, go around something. But we tried it through smoothbore and rifled bore, so we tried it with a red dot and with iron sights. There is no making these things work using a certain.
Yeah, if they're leaving the barrel without the stabilizing tail, it's like flying an airplane without the the rear tail thingy.
And that's inadvisable. That's inadvisable, folks. Never get on an airplane that's missing the whole fuselage.
Yeah.
Tail assembly.
If you're missing the rudder or the horizontal stabilizer, I mean
you're probably on
what's keeping the plane pointed forward.
You're on Aeroflot at that point.
Yep.
So, all right. Well. So Jeff and I are used to disappointing women, but now we've disappointed hundreds of thousands of YouTube fans. Actually, it was the rounds that disappointed us. Version 1.0 plopped out the barrel and landed pretty much on Brianna's boot. And version 2.0, although they fired downrange, and we didn't get a chronograph of them, but they appeared to be going their advertised speed. But it doesn't matter. They're all over the damn place.
Yep.
So. Sorry for the disappointment, but sometimes disappointment is fun.
That's what we learn.
Just ask Mrs. OG. All right, until the next video, we will see you guys.